has a degree in archaeology that he doesn't get to use anywhere. And so we're giving him the opportunity to use his God-given talents by giving you an archaeological update. Welcome to a Spice Daddy Digs.
What's up, my little pupper poppers? Welcome back to another Spice Daddy Digs. This time around, this one's somewhat old, but I still find myself perusing the archaeological documentaries and site reports and stuff like this. And there's this YouTuber I follow. It's called Expedition Bible. If you never watch any of his stuff on YouTube, excellent videos, and he goes through and does some stuff. But a few months back, he did one on the tomb of the Exodus. What a lot of Christians don't understand, and what a lot of people don't understand, is there's some controversy over who was the Pharaoh during the time of the Exodus.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me hear some. This is, by the way, very relevant to our series through the histories, because you get to 1 Kings chapter 6, I believe, where the first verse provides us a very specific time frame from Solomon back to the Exodus, because we're told in the 4th year of Solomon's reign, which he begins to build the temple, you would go back, 480 years, I think is the number, back to the Exodus. So it actually gives us a time frame of the Exodus that gives us then historically some insight into who particularly the Pharaoh was or wasn't when Moses was like, let my people go.
Right. So you got a couple different timelines going on here. You got one that pretty much moves the Exodus and everything forward, like, I don't know, 500 years. And that throws off the timeline of the Bible and everything. They generally put that around the time frame of Ramses. More conservative Christian estimates are put around the time of Amenhotep II.
That seems to be in correlation to the passage in 1 Kings.
Right. And so, but you still have this disagreement between the secular world, shocker, and the biblical world. And both times are different. So a shift in the timeline of the pharaohs needs to be made to adjust for everything from when was the Bronze Age, when was the Iron Age, when did this happen, when did that happen, and a lot of that's done through the lens of the pharaohs. Mm-hmm. And so this guy on Expedition Bible, he did this episode a few months back, and I thought it was just so awesome, because during the Exodus, right before the 10 plagues, right? We go through all the 10 plagues, and at the last plague,
the death of the firstborn.
You would think that would be a big enough thing to be marked down in history, not just in the Hebrew history, but the Egyptian history, right?
Can I ask a layman's question?
Yeah.
How did the Egyptians document typically their histories?
On like tablets and murals and stuff like that.
But it was often like
and papyrus
But it was calligraphy etched into tombs.
Right.
And so like we uncovered tombs, and they're like some of the histories would be written down, like etched in stone, like this.
Right. Through what we know as hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah. Which is a pictographic kind of language or written language. And so he goes, and so Amenhotep II, his tomb has been discovered in 1898 in the Valley of Kings, just like the majority of Egyptian pharaohs. And anyway, you should see some evidence of the Exodus or the 10 plagues within these, right? So what are some things we might look for?
Frogs or flies, or...
That's not something that's going to survive the ages, right? Okay. But maybe...
any kind of reference to major cattle die-off.
I'm not talking about written references, physical things, right? Boils, right?
Okay, within
maybe some pock marks on the skin and stuff like that, right?
Of people who have died,
Right.
who have died,
or
or
been mummified.
Correct, right?
scarification of some kind.
All these scars and things on the body are going to be preserved in the mummification process. But also, like, generally speaking, the firstborn is going to become the next pharaoh.
So the question would be, do we have any pharaohs that are secondborns or more?
Right. And so, man, this guy does such a great job. I love watching his videos. Check him out again. Expedition Bible. He goes through, breaks it down, goes to the Amenhotep's II's tomb, looks through it. So when they were going through, they found, guess what, on Amenhotep's body, using like modern day MRI and stuff like that?
Tattoos.
Close. Boil scars. Yeah. They found that.
That's close.
Yeah, you are.
Tattoos that God gave him.
Right.
Also within this, there seems to be another smaller tomb within that same tomb complex of a mummified body of a younger male within that area.
Ostensibly his older brother.
Correct.
Is that what we're thinking?
Yep. And so you see all this. Man, he just does such a great job of breaking it down. Check out the video. This was done about 10 months ago. Just Expedition Bible. And I could go, I want to go into the details, but it's so hard to describe things with what he discovered, especially when there's not a whole lot you can do now with, he can't just go in there and like request to go look at the mummy. He can't just go in there and do
There's
all
limitations
this.
to
There's limitations to this now. But the visual evidence of what you can see now, it matches what the Bible spoke of before. And so it just encourages, it adds credence to the evidence that points very strongly to Amenhotep II as the Pharaoh of the Exodus.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you again a question, just something that I've always heard, but just one of the explanations for, well, why isn't there so the Bible describes massive events that occurred in Egyptian society, from, again, the death of the firstborn, but 10 plagues, to the Jewish people being a people, a slave population, to, again, the Bible describes the death of a massive portion of the Egyptian army being drowned in the Red Sea during the Exodus. We don't find any of that within the hieroglyphics. And the explanation to being that is that you didn't document negative things that happened within the culture.
A good example of this would be probably, a certain time and place within the last, 10 years where maybe an American football team from Atlanta, Georgia was playing against another team from, the Boston area, and they were up and
like 23-7.
Yeah, and
28-7.
They end up losing in the last little bit, and
no one knows.
Yeah, nobody really knows.
Who can
Nobody
know?
really
We don't
knows.
document it.
You don't document it, and it never happened.
If you don't document it, you don't have to dwell on it.
Right, and that's the same
It's a great illustration.
same kind of concept, right? If I'm the king of a country, I don't want to document my failures.
So there is a story upcoming in 1 Kings. I don't want to get too far ahead of us, where Egypt.
But if you would like to find out, you can follow us at c316.tv.
Calvary316.
Calvary316.tv.
But there is the Egyptians come in and attack during the reign of Rehoboam and take a ton of spoils away. And they've uncovered recently archaeological evidence completely that's a fact of history.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
have there are a bunch of Jewish artifacts somewhere in Egypt.
Documentation within the hieroglyphics of that happening.
I mean,
Because it was a victory.
the inner workings of, or not just inner workings, but the relationship between Israel and Egypt has been long standing. Like we find, like even when I was there and digging, we found scarab beetles all the time, which is a big sign of the Egyptian culture. That's what they're known for. So finding stuff like that is not super common, but pretty common.
Relatively common.
Yeah.